Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So, if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger the Score. Peter Ferguson BHS LLC. And joined on the ones and twos, we've got our, I want to say, weekday aficionado, Bach. I was calling him Mr. Bach when I came in because I'm used to saying Mr. Harrison to everybody. And so Bach looked at me like, what? Who is this?
I can be Mr. Bach.
Yeah, that's what it's going to work. That's what it's going to, just like Mr. Rogers, we're just going down the list. So how you doing this morning?
Oh, great to be to join in here with you guys.
No, and we got Harrison. Harrison's out enjoying a wedding, and so doing that. So hope he's having a good time. And got a beautiful day as normal. We had a little bit of heat yesterday, and it looks like today next couple days, it's going to kind of temperature gauge is going to keep going up. But when school gets started, football season gets started, you can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, you can't complain. Of course, it's Nebraska, so
yeah,
the seasons will change on us. I personally prefer fall, but a little bit of heat at the end of the summer is never such a bad thing.
Well, and like I said, after the last couple of weeks or last week especially, like I said, again, want to just put our thoughts, well wishes out to those who endured the storm. I know there was a loss of life. And so, again, thoughts and well wishes to that family and those impacted by that. But also just a huge shout out to those like LES. And I know we had other communities come in and help with some of the cleanup and restoring power and just making sure not only just here, but Omaha and those surrounding communities were the impact was limited. And, with school starting, I mean, there's never great timing for different things, but, look at the individuals that worked at like LPS, Lincoln Public Schools, Omaha Public Schools. I know Seward was really impacted, Crete, to get things up and going. So there was that sense of normalcy. And so again, shout out and credit to all those individuals involved.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like it was a shared experience, I suppose, for the community. And like you said, I mean, obviously it can be difficult and more difficult for some than others, but it's been interesting watching, whether it just be, still, clean up or trucks driving every which way with a lot of different shrubs or branches hanging off the side. So it's like I said, kind of a shared experience. We all go through, prefer to and not to, but maybe it can draw the community a little bit closer.
Well, and, you hate for it to be those situations, but it does show, the strength that communities have. And so, again, on to bigger and, some more uplifting news, as I was listening a little bit earlier, back to school, we talked about for most in the area, things are getting started. We've got a couple of our guests in here who will be starting school this week. But, you go to Iowa, they start after the state fair. And so, traditionally kind of when you're in that Midwest, a lot of those schools are still kind of honoring what that looks like. But you had a preschooler do the first day of school on Friday. And my wife's a longtime 24 year old. People are like, whoa, wait, who are you talking about? Wait a minute. Mr. Bach, we'll go to a commercial break. People will be back later. But she's been in preschool I'm messing things up, Bach, right here. I'm nervous. I'm sweating now because I said the 24-year-old, but she has been teaching preschool for 24 years and had her first day with students on Friday. And how did that experience go for you?
It was awesome. It was interesting. I took him up to school, and instead of doing the bus for the first time, just to see how he would kind of get used to it. And he just walked right in. There were some kids that were crying and kind of worried about doing it, but he had fun, and so I'm happy because he's he doesn't have any siblings, so I was kind of worried over the years about how would he acclimate. We try to bring him around enough kids and stuff, but that seemed to be his favorite part is getting to know his classmates.
Well, you bring them to 93.7 The Ticket. We're all big kids. And
That's
so
right,
basically
yeah.
it's like a daycare in itself, with, hanging out with us. And then you got, Mama Pearson,
Oh, yeah,
Daddy
yeah.
DP. And then the rest of us are all just here. It's like a preschool all the way around through the week. And then it continues on the weekend. So he is well acclimated. I always tell people when they come in, they're crying. I've seen these baby, I've got some bad algorithms. So I'm getting those little baby clips right now. And you're looking at me like, dude, you're like a grown man. What are you doing? But the little babies are talking and they're kind of like comedians and they're interviewing them. But you have no clue. You're like, dude, grow up. Like there's stuff on Netflix that should be what you should be watching. But it's funny when they come in. It's not funny, but they're crying and you want to look and you want to just have that conversation like, hey, I'm just going to be honest with you. There's no other place that you can be for the next 12 years.
Right.
This is it. This is what it's going to look like. So we're going to go ahead and have to adjust some things, but it's going to be a classroom.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not going to get as many breaks. And you got a half day, dude. Like, love this, milk it, make it happen. But with that being said, quick shout out. And before we get to our guest, I want to just shout out to, the educators. Oftentimes we think about those classroom teachers, but we got the social workers, we've got, counselors, we got so many other individuals that are instrumental. And so I love Jonathan Alsheimer's the individual that I follow that's an educator. Talks about an educator is anyone in a school that has a chance to make an impact on the life of a scholar, I would say family or a staff member. And that's, they are the bus drivers to the classroom. And so I've had the opportunity to engage with our bus drivers, our transportation, our nutrition services, our custodial. I've seen, from North Kansas City, the transportation people posting things. And so I just really want to give a shout out to those individuals as well as those individuals in the classroom, because I think sometimes, when you think about a bus driver, I got to speak to them. Our average bus ride is 40 minutes a day, in Lincoln Public Schools, and other communities much longer. And so that's oftentimes the first and the last classroom of the day for our young people. And so just a shout out to them, our nutrition services. I got to see individuals at Belmont, Hartley, Norwood Park. Man, when those scholars came in the lunchroom and they were pointing, it was like, Mrs. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, the eyes lit up and just the joy that they bring. And so I just really want to make a special note and give a shout out to those individuals who are kind of oftentimes seem to support services, but I would say are essential individuals that help the education system move and run. And so shout out to them. And as we make that transition, we have got a full house and a full studio today. That's why I'm standing, because people love the chairs. If you ever come to 93.7 The Ticket, the first thing they say, we had Coach Wentz over here, is like, I need one of these chairs. So I think there's going to be a TMA over at Pius and East for a 93.7 The Ticket booster chair. But we have a full group. And so I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. And then they're also going to get to introduce the adult that they're connected to in this space. And so our first one is Maria Elena. And she is, tell us who you are, tell us a little bit about your journey, and then I'm going to let you do an intro.
Okay, my name is Maria Elena Brown.
Fantastic. I'm going to have you step up. There you go.
I go to Pius High School. I'm going to be a junior this year. I play volleyball. I'm on the cheer and dance team. And sitting next to me is Coach Katie Wens, and she is a counselor at East, and she is the head varsity coach for our Pius volleyball team. And yeah.
Awesome. So, Maria Elena, I want to get a little bit into you before we switch over to Coach. So, who makes up your crew? You came in. You got you got a VIP crew here with you. They're dressed. They got the bedazzled hats. They see you. They're in the background. We have to make sure that the volume. They're like, hey, that's my girl. That's my girl. They're gonna be running out here and stuff. They got signs. Who makes up the crew you run with?
Yeah, definitely my mom and my dad.
Okay, now give mom's first name. I mean, I know in some of our families, that's kind of like, don't be telling my first name. They come up in the stands. Who's this? Oh, it's Jane. Who's Jane? It's parent. You got that parent. Jason's looking at me like, it's Mr. Thompson. Okay. But here they want to know who you're talking about.
Okay. My mom is Delana Ramirez and my dad is Eddie Brown. My brother, his name's Vicente, and I also part of my crew is all my aunts and my uncles who always come to support me in all my games, and definitely my grandparents, Marty and Connie. They're always there supporting in the stands, and it's just nice to always see them coming out whenever they can.
Love that. And you got an aunt here with you today.
Yes.
So who's that? Give by name because she's here on this premise.
Yes, that's my Aunt Delicia. She always is rocking her nice pies fits. Yeah, she's the best.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And you had Coach Wentz here. And so we're going to let her talk in a little bit. But we also got, she's looking at me with that side eye because I used to coach her, Amani. Amani, tell us who you are.
I'm Imani Washington. I go to North Star High School, and right next to me is my dad, but also is the assistant athletic director and head football coach for North Star. His name is James Thompson.
Awesome. And Imani, I'm going to step up to that mic a little bit and the same thing so you can hear yourself. So tell us a little bit about who is Imani.
I am a multi-sport athlete. I play basketball, softball, and I run track.
Okay. And you are a first-year student at North Star High School, as you said before. So you started last Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So how was that for you?
Very crazy. There's a lot of people.
You were like, okay, Tuesday was fine. It was just us. And then Wednesday, it got real, right?
Yes.
It got real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so both of you introduced, we got some adults in the room. And so I'm going to start with you, Coach Wentz. Tell us a little bit about who you are. You and Coach Thompson have both been in the space before, but tell people who may not know who the infamous Coach Wentz is. Give us a brief bio.
My name is Katie Wenz, and like Miss Mari Elena said, head volleyball coach at Pius. This will be my 11th year. Got to start out in Western Nebraska and Arapahoe, Nebraska. So I always say they kind of gave me my jump start in this career. I'm a school counselor at East High School. And
Class of 91 there, Mr. Bach. I know you had a lot of Lincoln High grads on there, but I'm going to go ahead and AD if you're listening, class of 91. Let's go to the records.
And I'm an alum from East High School too,
There
but not
you
the
go.
class of 91, class of 02.
Wow. Wow.
But do have some connections with James in here in the room. I used to teach at North Star. And then Pete, I've just known your daughter through volleyball. So we've gotten that opportunity. So a lot of connections in here.
Awesome. And who makes up your crew? Who makes up the family?
My dad, Mike, and my mom, Jeannie. My dad was high school sports referee for years. So I remember going to games with him. My mom, Jeannie, she sits right next to him at every game, home and away. And then my brother, Scott, works up in Omaha in the school system, and 3 nieces. One's a sophomore at Millard West this year, going through the softball route, and the twins are in 8th grade. So he has a really fun household right now.
Love that. Love that. All right. And then we've got, I say Coach Jason. I got so many titles and everything, other duties as assigned. Give us some insight who you are.
I am James Thompson. I am the Associate Athletic Director at Lincoln North Star, head football coach. I have been at North Star for now 13 years, been a head football coach for 4. Got my start at Boys Town in Omaha. And had a lot of fun there, and they kind of got me my foot in the door there in education. So I'm very blessed to be here. Thanks again, Pete.
No, fantastic. So kind of want to get right into it. Scholars, we've got you all. Monty talked about okay, a lot of people, it got real, this, that, and the other. But just tell us a little bit about just that first day. What did that look like for you? What were you excited about? What was the thing that maybe you were like, I was a little, wasn't really feeling this. I'm getting better, but I'm not quite there. So first thing you were excited about?
First thing I was excited about was meeting all my new teachers and making new friends. I was also excited about just being in new surroundings, because I was used to middle school for 3 years, but it's high school's way bigger.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Love that. Love that. All right. So Pius has not started yet. You're going in, you start Tuesday, but you're helping out with the kind of the link and back to, those the newbies coming into the space. What's one piece of advice that you have for them?
Yeah, definitely just to be kind to everybody. Don't be slacking off in your classes. I know it's easy to do that, but probably just not to take freshman year super seriously. It's still supposed to be fun, and yeah, just be kind to everybody because that really matters.
Love that. I want to start with you again, Mariolana. What is something that brings you joy?
Something that brings me joy is definitely seeing my friends like succeed, especially if it's something that really like means something to them and something that I can like help them with as well, and just seeing others succeed really.
Fantastic. Amani, what about you? What's something that brings you joy?
Something that brings me joy is giving other people compliments because it brings them joy, makes them happy, makes them feel better about themselves.
So, Jason, you've got kind of a unique situation. Your daughter's at the same school that you're at. I don't know if she knows that yet, but, or has seen you in the hall or whatever, but that's not something all of us get to experience. Bach is probably sitting there and is like, hey, I can get a job and be at the same school and watch my kid all the time. I might go ahead and look into that, see what that looks like. Or maybe he's like, no, we came to that rolling stop and it was like, okay, here's the drop-off line. You got to go. Because I see both at the first day of school, Bach. I see some that are like ready and they're like, oh, I love you, baby. I love you. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. And you get some, it's like, hey, I need you to come to a complete stop. Like, why are you at 5 miles an hour? And they tuck and roll and they like have been practicing that. You got to go.
Yeah, we like I said, we dropped them off and had the embrace and all, but that was for day one. So I'll probably get into that tuck and roll after that.
second grade is tuck and roll. We need a year of training. But Jason, talk a little bit just about like what you hope that scholars, like the joy you hope she has as she's going through school. Maybe not necessarily North Star, but just the joy she has of being in school.
I want to first say that her first day of school, she stopped by my office, gave me 3 hugs that day. I texted my wife. I said, I don't know how much longer this is going to last, but I'm going to take it while I get it. But yes, I hope that she and all of her classmates just finds her people, finds people she can connect with, people who are doing the right things, have similar mindsets, similar goals, that she doesn't put too much pressure on herself to perform at the highest level right away, especially in athletics and academics. She's got 4 diff classes, 1 AP class as a freshman. She's got a load on her, and just to give herself some grace and remember, how blessed and loved she is, and that she can do anything she puts her mind to. That's something that I would tell not only her, but her brothers and every other person in our building.
Love that. Love that. Katie, what about you? What is the joy that you hope that young people feel when they're coming into educational space? And you're in 2 spaces, so that's kind of unique on a regular basis. So I would assume it aligns, but if it's different at both places, let me know what that is.
No, I think it aligns. I think the overall thing is, like James said, is find your space, find your people, and find who you are. And that can be really hard at this age, especially sometimes when you go through, like, the people I've always been connected with don't like the same things. So it's hard to break away to find your own self and make those new friends. I think probably living in the high school world right now it's hard. So finding who you are, finding what you're connected with, trying something new, even if it's going to a club for one day. And, if you have an interest in anything, trying it, maybe even trying out for a sports team you've never done. You may or may not make it, but at least you gave it a shot. So I think finding joy in taking risks and not always seeing when one door closes, that's the end of everything, that's going to open up a new door that you might not even have seen in the past. So finding joy, finding people around you, and finding positive people you can always turn to go to for anything.
I love how you said, like, even if it's one day, just coming to a club for one day. And we suggest if it's a club for one day, that's fine. Yeah. But come to school every day.
Yeah, make sure you're coming to school as well.
Don't just sample school for one day and be like, this ain't for me. I'm just going to go ahead and roll around town. Wait till you get out of school. Yeah. Wait till Madden comes out, college football. Wait till my boys, because they can't play during school. Right. All the electronics are gone.
They try.
but we've seen both. Mariolana, tell us a little bit, like, what are you most proud of? I still want to get to know a little bit more about you. Like, as you come into space, like, what do your educators get the pride that you bring when you come into space? What do you hope they get from you?
Yeah, something I'm most proud of is I've been told I have a positive mindset a lot. And I know that's really hard to do, especially with like academics and not always succeeding when you want to be, but really just trying to look on the positive side on everything. And I feel like I can do that pretty well now.
I love how you talked about that positive mindset, because a lot of times people talk about like what's on the outside that people can see. And so that means people have gotten to know you. How do you work with people to get to know you?
Probably just putting myself out there, really trying to get to know them as well too, and not everything is just about me. So really trying to get to know them and yeah, just being friendly all the time.
Like that. A lot of partners out there are like, it's not just about me. Like people are like sitting there listening in the morning and being like, I told you, look, she's like a junior in high school saying it's not about you. Me and Jason are sitting there like, oh man, putting that truth out there. Amani, what about you? Like what are you most proud of about yourself?
I'm most proud of being able to balance out school and sports when being like having a lot of stuff going on. So I have 3 sports and a bunch of diff classes, so that's a lot of homework.
Mhm.
And being able to balance all that out is like good, and I'm proud of it.
So a couple of you're talking about diff classes. For some of us who got to see we saw that on the schedule, but maybe not got into them. Explain that, because I know they're called different things in different spaces for our listeners. What does that mean?
This like advanced classes, so it's harder work and more homework.
Okay. Jason, K, you want to kind of add to that when people are saying diff class? Because I know like maybe Omaha or Kansas has similar things, but it might be called something a little bit different.
So when she's saying diff, accelerated curriculum. So she's covering more in like a geometry diff class than a regular geometry would. And then when she throws that AP in there, I think you said AP, Hug. She's doing AP Human Geography as a 9th grader. So she's taking classes at the college level. So as a 9th grader, she has not only 3 classes accelerated pace, but she's also taking one at a college level.
Love
So
that.
it's a heavy load. It's a very heavy load.
What, we talked about you're proud, but what about the spaces that you're in are you most proud of? And Jason, I want to start with you. You talked a little bit about that at the beginning, but the spaces that, North Star provides, whether it's Lincoln Public Schools, Pius, or just schools in general, like what are you proud of that they provide as young people start to go back into that space?
A lot of resources, a lot of support. Something that I love about North Star and why I've been there for so long is we have so many educators who care about the whole child. It's not just about, getting the letter grades or, earning some type of athletic accomplishment. It's about loving that child, encouraging them, being there to support them, and really just coming together, building that sense of community is really cool and really unique about North Star. And LPS does a great job hiring people who make children first, put children first.
Love that. Katie, what about you?
I would ditto what he says about LPS, just having those options of teachers who really, I do think even when things get hard, kids are the primary focus. I would say one of the things that Pius said, I think we're proud of as a community for volleyball is we have a pretty open, safe space that like, if things aren't really going your way, like I think Mari could attest this, the coaches are there for you every single day. And we make it very well known and open that if there's something bothering you, come talk to us. We're never too busy for you guys to say what's going really good or really bad in your life, or maybe you just need a breather, or today's not my day. And so I think we really have a sense of family there. And I'm very proud that the kids can come to us and talk to us and have that sense of family every single day when they see us walk in the gym, because they don't see us all day. So we have to work a little bit harder to build those relationships in those 2 hours. And I think myself and my staff have done a fairly good job of doing that.
Fantastic. Well, we're here with Maria Lana, Amani, Katie, and Jason. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rolloffs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rolloffs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rolloffs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson VHS LLC, and is joined on the ones and twos today with, we're going to say, Mr. Bach.
There we go.
You know, like I said, we got that educator mindset, so might switch him over. But Bach's here in for Harrison. Harrison's at a wedding, and so wanted to just hope he's doing well. Bach, how can people get in touch, leave a message if they want to?
Just at Twitter at Jake Bockoven, Bockoven. Sounds hard to spell, but it's not.
Sounds good. And we're in studio and got a name correction because I was saying I know this man is JT, and then I'm up here trying to be all formal and proper. It is James. It is James,
Yes, sir.
James Thompson. Sorry, you know, I should have just stuck with JT and just given that on the promo. But got his daughter Amani, Katie, and Alana, and so glad to have them in studio. And they've been sharing a little bit just about, you know, their journey, who they are, what they're proud of, and appreciate that insight. Kind of want to bounce into, you know, they talked about their involvements in different things. But one of the foundations has been about relationships. And you all talked about that coming into school. Amani, you talked about, okay, it was some people there on Tuesday, then Wednesday it got to be a lot more people. But I'm interested, Katie, why do relationships absolutely matter in what you do as a coach, but also as a counselor, and just also as a friend?
I just think relationships are huge. And I mean, I know it's kind of almost a hard thing to describe because every relationship with every person is so different. But I think every relationship that I encounter, I want to be able to come out and learning something from somebody. So a couple years ago, I heard a really good quote from Corey Campbell, the strength conditioning coach down at Nebraska. And he said, build relationships so strong they can bear the weight of the truth. And that's something that I don't know if I'm always 100% successful towards, but something that I strive to do with every single person is building that type of relationship. And then if I haven't, looking back, how can I build that stronger? And I really think when you build relationships, especially with adults or kids this age, somebody that might not be mom and dad that they can go to and say, this is what's hard, and having a trusting person that like they're still navigating the way to help them navigate it, and maybe learning those life lessons that things aren't always going to come easy. Things aren't always going to go your way, but that doesn't mean that that's how you look at life the whole entire time. So I also know when I started building more relationships with my athletes, athletics became a lot easier. It wasn't about the wins or losses, but once I started to get to know them as people instead of just athletes, they wanted to play a little bit harder for me. And that's a huge step in it too.
But give me an example of what that looks like in either cheer or volleyball, or just in your day-to-day school as you go through that journey at Pius.
Yeah, so having relationships is definitely huge. Just always having somebody to talk to and turn to, even in times of like trouble. And especially in like dance team or cheer or even volleyball, like always being with each other like all the time. You're like sisters at that point. And like when we have camps, overnight camps, you're definitely like sisters. And so building those relationships at those times is like super important for the season. And it's like the building block for success, I'd say. Really.
Amani, piece of advice that you've been given. What's a piece of advice you've been given and you're like, okay, that's helping me out right now as I move into things?
I would say be yourself, because like there's like nobody else you could be except yourself, because they're all taken. Like that's them. You want to be yourself because you need to show your true colors, like who you are.
Love that. Love that. JT, what about you? What's a piece of advice that you've gotten as you've gone on this journey? I mean, you've got a couple different roles. I'd say your most important role is probably son, father. A piece of advice that you've gotten that's helped you balance all those things and those roles that you're taking on.
Man, you're right. I got a lot of hats on that I wear throughout the day. I would say be yourself is huge. Give yourself grace would be another one. But I would say you have to love yourself enough for the both of us. You have to love yourself regardless of criticisms, regardless of situations that fall out, regardless of whether it's a win or a loss. You have to love yourself through all of those things. Give yourself grace as you continue to grow, because we are constantly trying to grow. I'm constantly trying to grow as a father, a husband, a coach, an administrator, just trying to get 1% better.
Love that. Love it. That's powerful. That's powerful. I mean, you think that, I mean, how do you do that? Like sometimes I think people have enough, challenge of just harboring one person, and you're talking about multiple. And so I appreciate that. Marielana, tell me about worst piece of advice that you've ever received. This one always kind of stumbles. So I always hesitate, Bach, to kind of ask this one, but I think it's been the one that's been the most revealing. And you don't tell me who, but just what's the worst piece of advice that you've ever received?
Probably my freshman year. Somebody told me to try out for track. Never again. I'm not a runner or a sprinter. No shade to track, but that's just not for me.
There's jumping, there's throwing, there's all those other things.
Yeah, I tried jumping too. It just did not work out.
Okay, you were just like, okay, yeah. So you won't be at the first day, kind of like sitting at the track table, giving everybody like, hey, come on, we're gonna make this happen.
I could be a cheerleader for them, but I lasted about 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, you did the thing like Miss Wentz talked about, like going for the day and giving that. Okay, Amani, what about you? Worst piece of advice that you've ever received?
Not sure. Try out for softball.
Bach, we got a lot of these things that like try to, they're like go out for one day or whatever else. Okay. So no shade to softball, but the worst piece of advice is go out for softball. Why did they want you to go out for softball?
Because they needed a runner.
Okay. So they didn't even want you to bat pitch or anything else. They just wanted you to go ahead and be on base.
Yeah.
That person that gets called out and do that? That wasn't you? Okay. I feel so. Each of you play sports, okay? And obviously, this last week was kind of the kickoff, especially in Nebraska for high school athletics. And you talked about volleyball. We got track, we've got basketball, we got all sorts of things going on. What was that experience like? And honestly, what I'm asking about, not so much just the trials itself, because I'm going to ask the coaches, what did you take away from that first week? What was the thing that you took away, Amani?
You're not going to be the best right away. To be the best or to be as good as you want to be, you have to work for it. Like, you're not just going to do one day and then you're going to be the best one there. You just need to work for what you want to be.
What was the biggest surprise for you as a ninth grader coming in from doing middle school athletics and kind of club type stuff? What was the biggest, like, whoa? At especially, and I'm not saying the first day, but the end of the week.
Like sports wise, or
I would say athletic. Let's keep it on the athletic side of things.
There's a lot more competition and a lot more like practices.
Okay.
We practice for softball. We practice every day of the week. For like middle school sports, we only practice a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that ninth grader coming in? What about you? You're a junior now. Okay. You've seen it. What was the thing that you took away from this week that may have been different than your ninth grade when you came in?
I would say probably not just going through the motions, but really putting in the work every time, even when nobody's watching. Definitely just putting in lots of hard work and dedication all the time. And like what Imani said, you don't always need to be the best, and you're not always going to be the best, but you don't have to be all the time. Like, you can just be there. You're all going to have different roles, and really just playing into the role that you are there for is really important, and not trying to do everything else, but just like locking in on one and just really focusing on that.
What I like about with JT and Kate, this is your first week. They talked about you're not always going to be the best. Talk about how, as coaches, you've worked with young people, but also with families about handling disappointment. Because I think whether you come in an eighth grader coming into ninth, there's kind of this, it's the first time, like I've, tried it and I didn't make something that I thought I was going to make, or I exceeded expectations and I did achieve the goal that I had. But also, you've got the kid, but you've also got families, and give some advice of what that looks like. Because there's a lot of posts this week of like, my kid did this and this is absolutely awesome. And then there's also, I'm sure you've dealt with some frustrations.
Yeah, and I think it's just not this year. And James, jump in anytime you want on this. I've done this for 18 years, and I will say this week, while it's really fun for a lot of people, it's not necessarily fun for me. And I don't think any coach walks into this week knowing that every decision they make is going to be easy. And I know there's always a lot of conversation about how this will look for this year, next year, in the future. And I think sometimes when things don't always go well for kids, and I think even in school, academics, sports, not just volleyball, any sport, that we really have to take a look back and see lessons we can take in teaching hard. And we're going to go through life with disappointments. The second time I ever applied for a head coaching job, the response back from the AD was, "I don't see you being a successful high school volleyball coach." And so I had to really handle hard in a way that I needed to handle hard. So having conversations and having opportunities to approach conversations in a way that everybody is treated like a human, and you're open to hearing different perspectives of what that feedback is, good or bad. And really keeping it as not this person got this person, why didn't mine kick, but really hearing the message of this didn't happen the way it wanted to, but we're here to help you navigate life in another way. And we still want to be proud of you. We still like you as a kid. This just wasn't the opportunity you have right now.
Right. Appreciate it. JT, I know we got to get a break, but real quick, just kind of your thoughts. What do you echo, but what is something different?
Yeah, you have to own your W's and your L's. When you have successes, you have to own those and be proud of those. When you have disappointments, you have to own those as well and try to figure out, how can I learn from this loss? How can I learn from this disappointment? And really just have those tough conversations of, why did it not go out my way? Don't look to point the finger, because the only thing you can do is change yourself. So I would say own those things, have those hard conversations of, what do I need to improve at? And then get to work, attack.
Love that. We're going to be right back on 93.7 The Ticket. Bigger than the score.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
The trip of the summer is coming. Collective Soul. Live. Summer Unity Tour 2025. August 21st. Pinewood Bowl Theater in Lincoln's Pioneers Park with Our Lady Peace. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Collective Soul. Live. Our Lady Peace. Together.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8888 8934, and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and joined on the ones and twos with Mr. Bach. He's getting his educator name here and survived the first day of preschool for his little one. And so we talked about training for that stop and roll. That will happen on Monday.
That's right.
But we'll be riding the bus, that first classroom of the day. So excited about that for him and his family. So we have a full studio. And so I want to get to a couple last questions. Katie's like, what is the last question? Like, she always wants to know. That's her demanding, Mr. Bach. That's why I just said, I have no clue, but I do have a clue. You got a young lady sitting next to you. Okay. Yeah. And I know you got a full team and you got multiple programs and young people that you work with, but she's sitting here right now. And I always say, give people their flowers while they live in the space. I had her describe you,
Yeah.
to introduce you. Give us just 20, 30 seconds about who this young lady is if the entire community was sitting here listening in front and you were introducing her to speak.
I think she said it herself, is to be kind. And she is one kid that I have never seen not kind. And even she faced some injuries this year, and she was even kind about that. She said, sorry, I can't be here and play. And I'm like, why are you sorry? So like, she's always been kind. She's kind of my go-to one of like, hey, there's a freshman looks like they're kind of struggling. Can you go up there and just introduce yourself? And so she's just a person. She's trustworthy. She can talk to adults at a level that 17-year-olds can't, and she can have mature conversations. And so, and she's always there for other people. Sometimes she shows up more for others than herself. And so kind, caring, respectful. And I would trust her with anything, and I wouldn't think twice about giving her responsibilities.
Love that. JT, you got Imani here. You got your daughter in the building, and she said, came up for hugs. But sometimes as a father, as a coach, as an administrator, you kind of like, okay, I don't want to, play favorite. And I always tell people, and you've listened to me say this before, that you have a favorite, but you don't do favoritism.
Yes.
But very rarely we miss those moments to kind of just articulate that love and who they are. So if you were introducing your daughter to the entire community, what would you say about her?
I would say Imani Marie is just a solid, empathetic young lady. She has a bleeding heart. She cares about others. She's the type of person who, when someone is very excited about something, she is going to celebrate it like it's hers. If someone's crying, you better get her some tissues. She just is a very caring, empathetic young lady who's just multi-talented. And I hope she realizes how talented she is.
Love that. To young people here, okay? We always talk about DP, love is, I want you to finish that sentence because I think people are going into spaces, they've experienced, success. And you, this last week, you've seen people kind of highlighted that. And then you've also seen people, struggle. And so define what love is to you.
Love is kindness and compassion, caring for others, making sure someone else is okay, putting other people in front of you before yourself.
I would say love is important, but it goes for everything. Like any sport you play, like you don't do it because you don't like it. You love it. And you're not going to want to put in any hard work because you don't like it. So it really helps when love is the foundation of everything that you do.
What does the future look like for you quickly before we head out?
The future is I'm really excited for this junior year. It's going to be really fun. And I'm not taking any hard classes, so that should be
no track, Bach. No hard classes, no track. What does it look like after high school for you? Like, if people are like, hey, I want this person in my corporation or company, like, what does that look like?
Yeah, after high school, I want to do stuff in the textiles industry. I'm really big on fashion right now and making clothes and, designing stuff.
Love that. What about you? You got a couple years, but.
Well, after high school, I have a dream college I want to go to. I want to go to LSU for track. Then after that, hopefully, I want to go into the Olympics and run track. Yeah.
I was going to say, pretty solid. Okay, that textile industry, we always ask this with Harrison. You're looking at both of us. What can we do for our style to upgrade ourselves? I don't want to leave Bach out because we've had like Harrison's like, oh, you bring us these people. What do we need to do to get our fit right?
I like what you're doing right now. You have the matching shorts with the stripes. I really like it.
Boom! All right, Bach. What about what can we do with Bach? Bach, go ahead, stand up. Come on now. This is an interactive show.
Maybe
the shoes.
Gotta go. Imani says the shoes. I'll agree with that.
Okay, we gotta get some shoes. We gotta get some footwear in here.
I guess I know who's gonna dress me for game.
There we go. As we leave, you both talked about failing forward. I really appreciate you being on. Want to wish you the best this year with volleyball, with the things that are going on. Monty, I want to wish you the best. You got your dad in the building. Okay. That is truly an honor and it's a privilege. And you got one of the best ones going. And so you're going to have a phenomenal high school career. JT, good luck to you on your season with all the scholar athletes that you have. And with that being said, we'll see you next week on 93.7 The Ticket. Bigger than the Score.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road.